Chicago panel. So how many of you guys are from Chicago? Look at that. So what do you think? We benched Jay Cutler?
Yeah.
Paid too much for that guy, huh?
Yeah.
That's all right. Don't feel bad. I'm a Jets fan. Yeah. We're 3-11. Yeah. It's kind of fantastic. All right. So I wasn't trying to, pour salt in the wound. I actually think he's I don't have a problem with the Bears because that's not in my division, so I got no problem with that. But
You guys get the same problem we do. What's the alternative?
you know what the alternative is? We're going to probably take him. He'll end up. Actually, we're number 2 where he'll end up. You know where he's going to end up? Where I live now, Nashville. He went to Vandy. He's got a house in Nashville, and Tennessee has no quarterback. So, and they've got a lot of money in their salary cap. So there you go. So don't worry, it'll work out for all of us, as long as none of us end up with them. Anyway, so we're all from Chicago. That's kind of cool. I think Chicago is kind of a really neat city. I'm a New Yorker, but we're sort of like there's only one city. Like when we even say the city, we're only talking about New York. But I've got to say, I really enjoy Chicago. I think it's a really cool city. There are very few places that have a beach and sky rises. I think that's really neat. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. I think that's really neat. Especially in summertime to be able to go like, we're going to the beach right here in our city. That's cool. It's a very cool place. I do have a problem with your pizza. Because I am from Brooklyn, and now, not that I don't like your pizza, it's not the style of the pizza that I grew up with. So you guys got the deep dish thing, right? So that requires like a knife and fork. Mm-hmm. And you see where I grew up in Brooklyn, it's a slice. There's no pie, it's a slice. There's no silverware, it's a slice. You fold it in half with one hand.
Yeah.
And the grease drips down, I'm talking food now. Drips down your wrist just a little bit, not too much. Not too much cheese either. See, a good slice doesn't have anything else on it, just cheese. All right, cheese and sauce. Then when you bite it, everything doesn't come off in your lap. Because in Brooklyn, you gotta be able to walk down the street holding a pizza. No plate. Napkins in the other hand, right, to get the grease off your face. But you gotta be able to hold in one hand. You guys, you need like a full set of silverware with the, inside out, there's a fish knife at the top, the whole thing, It's just too complicated. I mean, is that thing like, how many hours does it take to eat a pizza in Chicago? You got to sit for about an hour, right?
Exactly.
How many does it serve? What the average deep dish pizza? 8?
Yeah.
I eat a whole slice
About
I eat a
six.
whole pie in New York by myself. Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
No, it's not. It's just not a lot of bread and a lot of cheese.
So do
And a
you have
bunch of
time to
slices.
talk?
What's that?
Do you have time to talk?
No, yeah.
Well, that's the
Did you
advantage
buy-
of a Chicago pizza.
What do
You
you
have
mean?
time to talk.
Time to talk. You can do your mouth is full
You're
of
not
cheese.
walking
and-
down the street, you're not.
That's the thing. Has
Okay.
anybody ever walked down the street eating a deep dish pizza?
No.
Because it's supposed to be enjoying the privacy of like a bunch of
So we got
Yeah.
places to go.
So we don't let people eat.
We have things to say, so.
No, I get it. I get it. And as I said, I don't dislike it. I actually think it's good. It's just to me, it's much too complicated.
Chicago hot dogs.
What's that?
Ooh. What do you mean, what's that?
Like I think it's like 8 or 9 toppings.
Oh well, I do that anyway. I mean, to me, the hot dog. I don't eat beef or pork anymore. I haven't for a long time. But when I did, it's sauerkraut and the sweet onions and mustard and ketchup. So that's all on there. I don't even know what's in. What's in, if there's even a hot dog in there sometimes. Right. Exactly. See, we have the carts with the water that the dogs float around in New York. Yeah, you ever see that? Don't ever eat anything off of a cart sold in New York City. Unless you want to like try out some new medicine to kill sort of like Ebola. Because, well, we've got it, I'm sure. Actually, I think we've all built up an immunity to it, eating those hot water dogs, as we call them. Yeah. All right, we got a couple of minutes, but let's close the door. We can start our panel early since you guys are. Can you shut that? Just because that's going to distract me. Yeah, they can come in that way. Thank you. Hey, so you have not only your Pokemon walking things, but don't you have a big R on your bag?
Yes.
Hey, you didn't say hello to me before? I'm James from Team Rocket. How could you not say hello to me? All right, so let's talk voiceovers. So what I like to do at conventions is it's a lot of fun to meet the fans. And it's a lot of fun to sign your things and give you autographs and even play a concert for you guys, because that sort of gives you another side of what Eric Stuart's all about. But the other thing is, I have been a voice actor professionally for over 25 years, both as a director, adaptation, voice actor, anything. I've scored music for shows. I've worked behind the scenes. I've worked on both sides of the glass for so many years, both commercials, or well, not both, but commercials, audiobooks, cartoons, industrials, anything that involves audio and voice work, I have done. I am not an expert in everything, but when it comes to audio, that's what I know. I'm not a video guy. I went to art school to draw, but I play music. That gives you that. That's not what I do. What I do is audio. And so what I like to do at conventions is sort of pay it forward, because you guys love a certain genre. You love anime. And no, that's good. It's all good. But voice acting is way beyond that. This is a small percentage of what I do as a voice actor, and a small percentage of what I do in that entertainment industry. So this gives me a chance to give you guys the whole story, how to get into it if you're interested, and be very honest with you about this so that you maybe can walk away from my panels and feel like, wow, that was actually educational, not just fan stuff. Now, you can ask me what my favorite line I ever said as Brock was, or or Kaiba, or something like that. That's all good. I like that too. But I'm telling you now, I have 2 panels over the weekend. This one and the one I'm directing. They're an hour long. Pick my brain and don't miss the opportunity to get some serious answers from me. You can ask me those questions at my vendor table or whatever about the fan stuff. Use this opportunity to ask me some real stuff if you're really interested in this business and how to be a voice actor. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, so who's got some questions?
So, if you wanted to pursue in voice acting, if you went... Oh.
We started early only because I got here early and everybody was hanging. Come on in. We're talking voice acting. Come on in.
So...
Real quick, all I said was, ask me the questions about the business in this panel. Don't ask me the questions, the fan questions, because I want to give you guys some real information. So, let's see what we got.
So, if you wanted to pursue in voice acting, and if you went to a school, what school did you go to for it?
I did not go to school for acting at all. I did not go to school for voice acting at all. I grew up being, my dream was to be a musician, a singer-songwriter. I've been playing music since 7th grade. What I did do, which is a very, very lost art, is I worked in a place and learned from someone who knew what they were doing. I got a job in a recording studio. And that recording studio produced and the woman that ran it produced and directed commercials, voiceover commercials. That's all she did. I thought they did music. It's actually, I'll give you the short version of this story. I used to be a teaching pro, tennis pro, in the summer. I know, look at me, right? Now, I played a lot of sports, actually I did. So, one of the members knew I was a musician and said, I've got a studio, we need a new assistant. Are you interested in a recording studio? Are you interested in a job? And I just right out of college, and I said, actually I had left college to pursue music. That's not one to grow on from Eric Stuart. Stay in school.